you read the thumbnail, you already know what this video is. I'm going to be doing a story time. This is going to be my first story time on this channel, so I'm so excited. And it is going to be about the terrifying root canal experience that I've had. So if you are afraid of the dentist or you have to get a root canal soon and you're watching this video to learn about what happens when you get a root canal, I definitely would not recommend watching this video if you have to get a root canal soon, because I do not want to scare you. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen to you, and I hope it doesn't happen to you. But unfortunately it did happen to me, but I survived it. I'm okay. So if you guys want to hear about my root canal experience, then let's jump into the video. Always been afraid of the dentist, like my whole entire life. Since I was a little girl, I remember my grandma used to have to hold me down just to get a cleaning. That's how terrified I am of the dentist. Very specific when it comes to finding a dentist. If I'm in a dentist's office and I get a bad vibe, I will literally get up and walk out of the dentist's office. Like, I don't play when it comes to people in my teeth. You're in my mouth with a freaking drill, needles, God knows what else. I don't feel comfortable. I'm not gonna be a patient at your dentist's office. It's that simple. Whenever I moved to Florida, I took some time to find a dentist, and then I found a dentist that I really liked. Dentist office that I get my Invisalign through and everything. So like I love this dentist office. But I went to go get a cleaning at this dentist office, and he said that I needed to get a root canal. Now, mind you, when you get root canals, typically you have a lot of pain. You feel like the heartbeat in your tooth, which means you typically need a root canal. I was already scared to get this root canal. I don't really have much of a choice though. It's either you get a root canal or you're in like excruciating pain, which I wasn't in pain at the time, but I'm sure if I just let it go, I would have been in pain. So I had to get the root canal. And at this time, I wanted to get Invisalign, but he would not let me get Invisalign until all the dental work was done with my teeth. I'm so scared of the dentist that I physically have to like mentally prepare myself the night before I go to the dentist. That's how scared I am. So he's like starting, and mind you, so when you get a root canal, you get the Novocaine, obviously. Numb you up down there. So I didn't feel anything. The whole entire time he was doing the root canal, I didn't feel anything. It was a piece of cake. I think it took like 20 minutes. It was a way better experience than the first time I got a root canal at my other dentist when I was in Pittsburgh. So I was like so happy. So he finished the root canal and I was like, oh my God, that was like so easy, like no issues whatsoever. So I left, and at that point, I had to go to work after, so I went to work. I noticed around 1 p.m. I'm starting to get this rash from here where I got the tooth work done all the way up to like here, and it was real hot. And I'm like, that's like super weird. Like, why is that happening? Now, mind you, the tooth wasn't hurting at this point. I was just getting this like weird rash. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just like really irritated because, you know, I got the nerve ripped out of my tooth, and let me get some ice, and I'll just like ice it down here. And I iced it because my face was so hot, and I was kind of panicking low-key because I didn't know what was happening, but I wasn't in pain. So I just wanted to get some ice to like cool down because I felt like I was like overheating with the rash. Now, keep in mind, my dentist office is closed Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they also close at 3 p.m. So I got this root canal done on Thursday morning. So a little after 3-ish, the rash was just getting worse, and my tooth was kind of hurting. It wasn't the pulsating hurting though. It was just like irritated, like it felt real irritated. So I was like, well, let me call them and tell them what's happening and see what they do. And I knew that it was after 3, but I'm like, okay, dentist office have to have like an emergency line, right? Like I'll just call, leave a message, and they'll call me back. So of course I got the emergency line and I left a message. So around 5:30 it starts hurting, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. And the dentist still didn't call me back, so it's been like 2 hours at this point. So I take the ibuprofen, and it literally doesn't do anything, nothing at all. So I call the dentist again and I leave another voicemail. Pain is so bad. I'm pacing back and forth in my house. I'm like icing it. I'm putting heat on it. I'm really losing my mind because it's really starting to hurt. So I was like, okay, I need something other than ibuprofen. I don't know what else I can take. Let me call a pharmacy and see what they recommend. So I called them, I explained the situation. The lady was like, okay, you can take 1,000 milligram Tylenol on top of the ibuprofen. So I took that. It doesn't do anything. The pain was still, if not worse, than I took the ibuprofen. Like at this point, the pain just keeps going up. So I've started crying because it was so painful. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like it's so painful. I've called the dentist like 6 times at this point. I remember it specifically because I laugh about it now and I'm like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. I was in so much pain. I called the emergency line at my dentist and I was like bawling my eyes out on the phone, like saying, please call me back. Like I don't know what to do. I'm in so much pain. Like literally like begging for this guy to call me back. That's how much pain I was in. So fast forward to around like 2 a.m. I can't sleep. I feel hot. I feel like I might have even had a fever at this point. I don't know for sure. I just know I couldn't sleep. I was extremely hot. And I kept pulling my mouth down to look. So I was like, let me go look at it again in the bathroom. And I pulled it down and there was a freaking bubble right under this tooth forming. Like a bubble. I'm gonna insert pictures so you guys can see. So I am freaked the hell out. I'm like, oh my god, if something is seriously wrong, like I have a major infection or something, like there's a freaking growth growing inside my mouth, like something's not right. And I couldn't touch my mouth. I couldn't do anything at this point. So I wake my boyfriend up. I was like, I have to go to the ER. I'm exhausted. I can't sleep. I have no idea what to do. Like the pain is so severe. I need something to be done. I must have been in excruciating pain. I was very afraid of the doctor's office too. So for me to willingly want to go to the doctor's says a lot about how much pain I was in. Like if I don't want you guys to think I'm exaggerating because I'm not, but I would rather push out 20 babies, get ran over by a car, than ever experience tooth pain like that ever again in my entire life. I mean, it was the most painful thing I have ever experienced. Let me tell you something really quickly. When I would get my acrylics done, I slam my and I used to get really long nails. I slammed my acrylic nail in my car door and the real fingernail came off with the acrylic nail. The entire fingernail, it was just skin, straight skin, and the tooth hurt worse than ripping off an entire fingernail all the way down to the bed nail. Like that's how bad that tooth was. Go to the emergency room. They're not gonna be able to fix anything with the tooth. They're not a freaking dentist office, so I knew that they were gonna probably give me some type of drugs. Now, I have never done any type of drugs ever in my entire life, other than maybe like 5 times in my entire life. Not even kidding. Like I am not a druggie. I like putting anything into my system, I freak out about. I'm just like real weird about it. So for me to take a hardcore drug shows a lot in how much pain I was in. I go in, I explain the situation, and he was like, okay, we're gonna give you the shot, something. I don't remember what it was, but we're gonna give you the shot. And I remember being scared to death. Like, oh my god, a shot. So not only am I about to take hardcore drugs, they're giving me a shot. So right away I was like, no, like, can I just have like a pill or something? I was afraid that like I was gonna get the shot and I was gonna have like an allergic reaction and something bad was gonna happen. But unfortunately, I guess the ERs don't have pills just like on deck. So that was my only option, and I was in so much pain. I was so tired. I just wanted to go to sleep that I took the shot. And right away the shot kicked in. It's like you're drunk times 20. I found a video from my Snapchat 2 years ago when this happened of me in the car leaving the ER, and you can just tell like I am fricked up, like I'm messed up. I had to go to the ER. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Where's the wristband? Oh. I go home, I'm finally able to go to sleep, right? Only for like 3 hours. Soon as that medicine wore off, and I don't even think it wore off like completely, the tooth pain was just overriding the drugs because I was up at 8 a.m. and I remember specifically telling John, I need you to go to the Walgreens and fill my script because I need drugs right now to make this pain stop. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning, right? I still haven't heard from the dentist. They still never called me back. The prescription, and the prescription that they prescribed me was Oxycontin. Pain was so bad that I took it. I took it to make the pain stop, and it worked. I could still feel it, but it was like I was still able to like sleep and like would just sleep. I couldn't do anything else on it because as soon as I took it, like I was like so freaking high. I couldn't do anything other than sleep. Remember, I went to sleep and I got woken up by the phone. The dentist finally called me back, apologized like so much. I honestly feel like I was probably the first person that has ever called his emergency line, because if things can go wrong with me, things will go wrong with me, and of course something went wrong with me. So his emergency line was being sent to his email instead of his phone, so he didn't get the text until the whole next day. He felt super bad. He was very apologetic about the situation, and of course immediately he wanted to get it taken care of ASAP. He referred me to his other dentist guy, and they got me in that same day. When I got there, he drained the bubble, and as soon as he drained it, I immediately felt better. But he said that like it was like obviously so infected. I don't know when the infection started. I'm assuming probably already had the infection before he did the root canal, but the root canal probably triggered it, I'm assuming. I don't know, I'm not a freaking dentist. But yeah, I definitely had like a super severe infection. So once he drained that bubble, obviously like it felt better, and then he gave me antibiotics. The next day I finally felt like so much better. I was like, oh my god, oh, thank you Jesus. Root canals, I think if I ever get one again, I will be just afraid. Whenever I had to get my first root canal, I was googling all over the internet trying to find out exactly what happens, and like everyone's like, root canals are no big deal, they're no big deal, you'll be fine. And that's a freaking lie. I mean, probably 99% of the time you'll be fine, but I'm that 1% in the world that people want to hear about, because if something can go wrong, it'll happen to me, and it did happen to me. But thankfully I'm alive, because I really thought I was gonna die at one point. Like the pain, well, I don't know if I could have died from it, possibly, but the pain was so bad that I think I would have rather just called it a day because it was so painful. Fun fact, I have recorded this video 3 times now, and I was messing around with my phone settings. I film all my videos on my iPhone, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to like record it in 4K because I have that well, I think everyone does, I don't know. And so like I uploaded it to my Mac and I like edited it, and then I put it on YouTube, and it took hours to process for one. Upload to YouTube, this video took hours, and it kept saying, oh, 4K and SD is still processing. And then the next, I let it go the whole night, and then the next day I checked and the video was still blurry. Like if you got an alert saying that I posted, and I did, and then I hurried up and I privated it because it was so blurry. You know, if you guys like this video and want to hear more story times, hopefully that never happens to me again. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you ever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!